cover a couple things, and then Bryant is going to wrap us up. So, everybody that came in, that worked well, hopefully if you did not, I think everyone did, but just make sure that you signed beside your name, because that gives us this proof back to the insurance company that you were here tonight, that you heard the talk, and helps us keep track of who was not here. Bryant's going to give you, if you already don't have it, your assigned practice time. Michelle will be turning on your keys, so those will be ready to go, and our head coaches have keys and the wrench. If you're an assistant coach, sorry, but you don't get a key. All right, so what you want to do is instruct your team to come in. Everybody knows this, but just so you know, use the bridge door. If you're not familiar with that, it's the very last one at the end by the dumpster. We've had problems in the past with doors getting propped open. That just can't happen. Again, it goes back to the safety. You want to protect yourself and your team. Make sure our doors and our building are secure. You'll even notice if you're here at night, our custodian, who is Shirley, she's here until 9. We've instructed her she cannot open the door, even if somebody is like, knocking here at the entrance pavilion to come in. She just can't open it. So again, if you can tell, if somebody comes to that door and you happen to see them, just ask them to go around and just start to spread that word. For practices, we just aren't going to be using that door, and we've got to keep the bridge door secure. If you're a team that practices or plays a game past 9 o'clock, that's when Shirley leaves. So we want to make sure those coaches understand you need to double check that you're locking that door, locking all the doors, but especially the exterior bridge door. If you see any problems with that, let us know, because sometimes that door has had some difficulties with locking. And also, as someone mentioned, we have practices going like back to back, starting, I think at, Brian, like 1 o'clock, starting at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. Most of the time, you're not going to need that key to get in if you're coming in past that point. But if you are finishing your practice and you look around and you say, wow, there's no other team still practicing, we were the only one that showed up tonight, make sure you lock that door on your way out. So sometimes you're going to know, I don't need to lock it because Roger's team is here and they're going. But just be aware that if the gym is empty, you're the only team practicing, we've got to count on you all to help lock those. We have purchased a first aid kit that is now outside of the gym, so we're going to try that, see if we can keep it stocked, but just so you know, there are first aid supplies that won't require you to have to get into that closet in the gym, and so we're going to try putting it there, maybe make it a little easier to get to and keep it out of the way of that closet. And team photo, make sure as you get going, ask someone on your team to take a photo. Go ahead and email it to Michelle any point in the season, but we will be reminding you as we get closer to those banquet dates, please take a team photo, especially for our 6th through 12th graders. That's what we give them to help them remember. We don't do the trophies for that age, so they're going to get a photo, and we need y'all's help to get those. And we may post them around the church and do other fun stuff with those photos. So if you get any good photos, and in general, feel free to send those as well. All right. On the sheet that had the league schedule, I added the Westminster basketball dates. And we're going to try the Sunday night, kind of, again, still splitting. We've got so many children, so many families. We're going to split those up. For those of you that have a 6th through 12th grader, you just notice we're trying to bridge the gap. The seniors were ending in January, and the juniors will still be playing. But in order to not have this huge gap and also avoid things like Super Bowl and all these other things that start to happen, we've really intentionally tried to pick some dates we hope that will work with the majority of people's calendars. So go ahead and share those with your team. All right, any questions for me on any of those items?
Do you guys have any issues with, if somebody's not going to be there to be able to coach one of the assistants or somebody else, giving them the key and letting them get in and out okay?
That's a good point. We really, now that we've had to go to this, more secure method with the background check and with this meeting, if your assistant coach can't be there, then you're just going to have to call the practice off. So you got to, if you don't have an assistant coach, you might want to think about getting an assistant coach so you do have a backup plan if you can't be there. We just can't turn the reins over to somebody.
But you don't mind them using the key though when they getting in and out and all that? The assistant.
The assistant, no, sorry. No, the assistant can do that, yep. All right. Any other questions? Well, thank y'all. Brian's gonna come up here and cover a few more things. Appreciate your time tonight.
All right, I guess I get all the fun stuff. We're gonna try something different this year on basketballs, because as you all know, that closet is a wreck. There's stuff everywhere. Balls are flat, balls are gone, they're never there. If you will email me what kind of basketball you want, or when you go get jerseys, you can get a basketball, and then you're responsible for it. So one person on the team can have the basketball, the head coach, assistant coach, I don't care, but we can at least have a basketball, because we run into chaos every Sunday, at least in the little kids. I'm sure you all have kids that bring basketballs anyway, but if you want a basketball, when you go to First Team Sports, just get it. Sign it just like you do the jerseys, and we'll pay for it. Just one per team, if possible. You guys should know what size basketballs you use. If not, there's rules over here that should say that. I don't know exactly what it is per age group, but it's in the rules. Key cards you should have, so like Lee said, you pass, or Jim said, you pass those to the assistant coaches are fine. We just don't want anybody in here who has not signed up to form or has not had a background check. So there's going to be plenty of times where the assistant, has to help, or somebody else has to help with an assistant. That's fine too, as long as they're there. For those of you who've done this a million times, jerseys, First Team Sports, just call out there, order them, or go out there and pick them up. I would encourage you to go ahead and do that, so that we're not running into November the 1st or November the 3rd, whenever this thing starts, scrambling to get jerseys. They'll be billed to the church, so you don't have to do anything, just sign the invoice when you're there. But if we can go ahead and do that, that'd be great. Susan touched on the first aid kit. We're gonna put that in if you walk out the doors near where the water fountain is, there's a coat rack. We're gonna put it on the shelf above the coat rack, because kids get in the closet, Band-Aids get everywhere, and wrappers, but I mean, if you've ever coached before, you always know you need a Band-Aid or something. So we're gonna put it up top, so hopefully that avoids the kids getting to it. Schedules are in process. We turned in all the rosters. I think I've sent you all that, Roger. Some of those, I thought I'd sent everybody out. If I haven't, I thought Michelle had. You got roster in PDF format and Excel format. You scroll all the way to the end, it's got parents' names, information, email addresses, emergency contacts. It's got all that, who their insurance is. So just check that. If you didn't get it, let me know. I'm not sure. Eric said he's been replying to my email, group email, and I haven't gotten them, so I apologize if I hadn't, but shoot me another email or grab me or call me. I'll be happy to help. Other than that, we're good to go. You saw on the schedule the first game, I think it's the first week in November, so you're ready to start practice. As you can see, I'll send out the final practice schedules. Get with me. I know we got a few issues. We can try to switch, but I mean, most times we've got 4 teams in the gym at all times. It's a rare occasion if somebody's getting the gym all themselves, or 2 at a time. The gym is taken Sundays from 5 to 7, Mondays from all night. It's not available Mondays, or Thursday from 7 o'clock on, and of course Saturday's taken. So any other times we can find, you're welcome to get in, as long as it suits and we get the key cards set accordingly. Any questions?
Is the closet going to be locked?
We will leave the closet open. It's just, you've got weekday school in there during days. There's a lot of times balls left out. You want to put them up. The closet will be open. For those of you who've done this before, Bosie tried the cage last year. We'll still do the cage. I bought a pump, an electric pump that we'll put in the cage. But you all know how that cage goes. Somebody opens the cage and leaves it open, and then all the balls disappear and they get put in with the weekday school, and it's just chaos. The code for that, for anybody that doesn't know, is 6113. I'll email that out as well. It's just a little, like a bike chain that's locked on there, but those balls will still be in there.
I mentioned when you use that lock, it's a rope lock. pull it so it's tight enough. I've seen it in there, it's been locked, I can easily lift it and take all the balls I wanted, so.
Exactly right.
Just,
Yeah. And hopefully, some of those balls are still in there that are halfway decent.
All right, do you have to have all the insurance forms with you?
No.
Each game? You don't?
Not that I'm aware of. I've never.
You used to.
Yeah, that was.
I've never kept those, but, you know, you should have that electronically. So
Okay,
you
and
have,
that's okay?
yeah, because, you know, we all did that electronically this year. The church has copies of all that. I can certainly ask Michelle if she wants to email those individually, but it's on your PDF, who their insurance carrier is with. So I would assume you have that.
With the waiver,
It was signed,
like, you're talking about the medical
I'm talking
waivers
about,
that you've got.
they
the
said you had
right-
to have this in case we come and check periodically.
we
And I never
we can
had
double
it.
check on that, but we did it electronically this year. We've done it in the past where you've signed it and everybody keeps that copy in the folder, but I can certainly ask because that wasn't, you know, physical signed form, I don't think, this year. So I can ask that. What else?
The divider, in case we need to take that up and down, how do we do it? Because you have like a special key.
You do, winter,
I know what you're gonna say, there's not gonna be a time where I'm gonna need it because I have
No.
people pricing, but
No.
sometimes it's sitting there.
sometimes it's
last
down,
year,
and
I'm like, I need
you
the
need it to
whole.
go up. We can probably ask J-Mac to make sure it's up every day at 5 o'clock before he leaves. One of the custodians to raise because there's just a handful of keys, I think, that are out there for the curtain, so to speak. It takes 30 minutes to go up anyway.
Oh, it does?
It takes a long time.
I didn't know.
So, but yeah, we'll try to get it up when you're in there so you don't have any issues. What else?
Brian, I decided I wasn't gonna be a head coach this year, but I'd like to be an assistant if anybody needs some help.
I'm sure there's plenty that would love your help.
I think I got a volunteer.
Okay, there you go. We'll get you the sign forms and you'll be fine.
On that divider thing, I mean, if we're gonna have 4 teams out there, too, I think we would rather have it down.
Okay?
I mean, from a distraction standpoint, we got
Yeah,
80-year-old kids looking at.
sure, sure. And that may be something that I can talk to Michelle about and put in the closet somewhere in the cabinet for people to get to.
I think that'd be better. I mean, I don't want it up,
Sure.
but just. in
For
case
preference.
We have no way of getting it up. We want to do a full scrimmage with somebody, you know, we get stuff.
Yeah, I'll ask. I mean, I personally have a key. I know there's probably maybe a couple more that have it, but I know that there's not a large group of those out.
They're trying to repurpose jerseys. I know each year you turn some in and then they kind of disappear. So you're supposed to get all new jerseys or?
I mean, there's a box of them over here that there's probably 2 or 3 from each team. We've tried this. As the older teams, I've done this for years. I've just ordered nicer jerseys and then we've worn them 2 or 3 years in a row. But, so if I get somebody that adds, they just usually go add that one jersey and we just order one jersey, but they're responsible for keeping them. If you get T-shirts or the same old $10 mesh reversible jerseys, chances are you're gonna have to order new ones. You're gonna outgrow them or lose them, or they're not gonna look very good. But, you know, that's,
What are your options? You get T-shirts or you get the beer for personal price?
yeah, I mean, typically, I mean, that's probably a very typical,
Not for girls.
Not for girls, I mean, for guys, maybe it's.
Girls are the same thing. That's what we want.
is that what you were?
Yeah, they're fine with it.
I mean, when you go to first team, do you know where everybody knows where first team is on Wade Hampton? I mean, they'll probably tell you, Dave Roper is who I've dealt with out there for years, he can probably tell you what they had last year and give you some options. It's up to you.
You want us to use standard colors for the church, or is it, you don't care?
I don't care. The only thing I do care is if I can get the I-Mite coaches after this, because we formed our own leagues, as you know, last year, so we all don't have the same jerseys, but for everybody else, just be cognizant of, you know, I don't know how often it'll happen, but, you know, senior girls have 4 teams. Probably don't get all the same jerseys, because you could play each other, or, you know, if they're reversible. Most of them are reversible these days anyway, so you can flip them. I'll try to see if we can get some practice pennies in the box again, but you know those disappear as well, so maybe we can use some of these old that were returned in there for practices. Anything else? Am I missed anything? All right, well, we're good to go. The schedules probably won't be out. You know how this goes. If the first game is November, I'll get them to you as soon as I get them, but that probably means the last week of October. We've asked everybody not to add any more players. There's circumstances that we just have to take into account, we will, but we'd like the rosters to be set. It worked a lot better this year, I think, but if there's a situation where somebody's joining the church, or, you know, a church member who just missed the sign-ups, we can make an exception, but we've got over 300 kids, so we've got plenty, I think, right now. So again, I'll get you schedules as soon as they come out, but until then, you're free to practice. You've got my cell number, or at least I'll put it on an email tomorrow, so call me. Tommy Miller's gonna open up the gyms on Mondays and Thursdays for games for anybody that plays here, so he'll set up scoreboard and everything, and then Sundays the gym will be open. Just make sure the last one out locks it.